Hi, my name is Zach Tinnel, and I am the executive chef over at Recovery Revelations. All right, so I grew up in Orange County. I grew up in a nice neighborhood and with a good family and whatnot. But after my parents split up, something kind of happened with the family. Some drug use started getting really crazy. My older sister got into drugs. I knew my little brother was getting into drugs. My older brother actually was able to stay away from it. And myself, I got hooked on opiates. And the biggest detriment of everything that happened in my life was I broke my hip and my femur, and I went to the pain doctor, and they had to put a bunch of metal in my hip and everything. But with that said, the doctor gave me a huge prescription for opiates, and I fell in love with them. I started eating them all the time, and it just became a part of my life. And I didn't really see the destruction that was creating around me because I didn't care, because I just know that it made me feel good, and it was taking away some pain. The physical pain, but it was also more emotional pain. I got addicted to taking away the emotional pain, not the physical pain. So as years went on, the drug use got crazier in my family, and I'll never forget, I was with my girlfriend in Virginia, and we came out of the movies, and then I got a phone call, a voicemail from my mom, and my mom was just, she was just completely and utterly I couldn't understand a word she was saying. I knew something was really wrong, and I got this gut feeling, but I wasn't sure what it was yet. I later found out that my little brother had overdosed and died. And again, I'll never forget that pain inside of my stomach. And when I found out that he had died, it just started fueling my addiction more and more and more. And so I continued on with the opiates and meth as well. I like to mix the two. And that's what kind of kept me going for a long time. And looking at pictures now, it's so crazy to just see how skinny I was and sucked up, and just a mess, complete mess. And so I managed for a while. Everyone knew that I had a little bit of a partying problem, but they didn't really know didn't know the drug problem. My little brother dying really, really hit the family and hit us hard. My mom never recovered from it. In fact, 3 years after Tyler died, I got a phone call again when I was at work. My mom had disappeared. We didn't know where she was for a few days. She does this from time to time. And sure enough, she had overdosed and died herself. They found her in a hotel room in Flagstaff. And she had literally taken the same concoction that killed my little brother, because I don't know, obviously I'll never know the reason why she did it like that, but she did replicate his death, basically. And that obviously, and then that hit me super, super hard too. It was angry, sad, it just set me way off. And then after that is when I discovered heroin. And I was super lost at this point, extremely lost. And I discovered heroin, and I started shooting up meth and shooting up heroin. And then next thing I know, within, I would say, it took about 3 months. And 3 months in, I was homeless. And I found myself homeless on the beach in Virginia Beach. It was starting to get cold, and I was sleeping under this pier. And then I learned the homeless community. The homeless people became like my family. They showed me how to get around, where to get free food and whatnot. I didn't care. I literally was so torn up with pain. All I cared about was just making sure that I got high and stayed high, because I knew if I got high, it would totally take me out of that element, that pain, and it was what I did. So I ended up getting sober. I ended up putting myself into a program. I got 2 years sober, got out, and when I got out, I was doing well, and started a nonprofit that ended up helping tons of homeless people on the streets of Venice Beach and Santa Monica, called Fed Up. I started that. It was doing great. It was doing awesome. And I don't know. I can't really explain what fueled me, other than grief for me to go back out, because again, this was like after having like 2.5 years sober, I got a phone call again. And it was my dad, and I heard it, I could hear his voice. It was a familiar voice. I've heard that pain in his voice again, and I knew immediately that my sister was dead too. So my sister ended up, she was messed up on, I guess, some pills, was walking across the street in Buena Park and got hit by a Buena Park police car. She was walking across the road and killed her. And so I lost my little brother, I lost my mom, I lost my sister, and that still did nothing. That still didn't do enough for me to stay sober. You know, it's like looking at the track record, you would think that, okay, this is where someone stops, but it never worked for me. I didn't create enough, you know, sense of value. I wasn't feeling that love and that camaraderie that, you know, a person needs and when they're going through grief and just need in general, really. So again, I ended up homeless on the streets. This time I was in Santa Ana, and I was homeless on and off for about a year, in and out of hotels, you know, and just completely screwed up, and on top of that, like while I was sober, let me backtrack for a second. While I was sober, I met a girl, and she and I were gonna get married, and we had a son, my son Bodie, and you know, right when my son was born, I can't explain why. It was just, again, like the pain inside of me. I went back to using because I know it's what made me feel comfortable. And like, this is an uncomfortable situation, having a child, getting married, and everything. So, but you know, even bringing a child onto this planet, you know, that wasn't enough to get me sober and keep me away from everything. There have been multiple times I thought about committing suicide, killing myself, because I was like, look, I just brought a kid, like God just gave me a son, something to take care of, something to help me, you know, along the way, help me get sober, because but still, I couldn't get sober. So eventually, I got into a treatment, I got into a detox, I detoxed, and then I found out that there was a position a new treatment center called Recovery Revelations opening up, and I heard that they needed a chef. And you know, my roots go back to the culinary industry. I went through some culinary school. I worked for a while in the culinary industry, and I just thought, I was like, you know what, I just got to make it work. I was like, I just got to put myself in this environment. I was still broken when I came up here, you know, but everyone here, the staff here, owner Joseph Ming, it just made me feel loved. They gave me a sense of value. They you know, they auditioned me, and when they auditioned me, you know, when they realized that I could make this happen, that I could make, you know, a great culinary experience happen here, they really brought me in. And like I said, you know, like I think the biggest thing that this Recovery Revelations has done for me is they've given me a sense of value and purpose, and they're always empowering me, always letting me know that, like, you know, I'm doing good, or you know, I have the potential to do better, and you know, and they've become my family, and this is what I needed. I don't know if I'd still be sober if I wasn't up here. I really don't know, because I wouldn't have the family atmosphere that Recovery Revelations has given me, and I wouldn't have that empowerment and that sense of value, and I wouldn't have that. And I'm endlessly grateful for that. Hi, my name is Zach Tinnel, and I'm the executive chef here at Recovery Revelations. Some people call me Chef ZT. You can call me whatever you like. It's okay. Can't wait to get to know you. Can't wait to start cooking some amazing meals for you and nourishing your bodies back to health.